Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Patrick. I want to thank everybody for being patient. My car died about a week ago, a little over a week ago, and I've been running around with my head cut off trying to, get myself another set of wheels and just trying to get back on my feet. Obviously, it wasn't a purchase I was really ready for, but we're back. We're going to be taking a look at two, maybe three more smart TV devices. Today, though, we're going to be going over one of the oldest ones that I have. This is the Sony NSG-GS7. Not the coolest name in the world. Sony doesn't make too many of these. But it's wonderful. I use it all the time. I use it in my everyday life. It's really, really good, and I'll explain why. So 2002, it's a little bit old. Obviously, just its size is pretty big. So dimension-wise, it's 8 inches long this way, 5.1 inches long in length, and in depth it's 1.4 inches. So it's still slim profile, and it weighs just under 2 pounds. Online, it's got some pretty good ratings, but this is 2012. It's old. I got it way back when. On the inside, some quick specs. It only has a gig of RAM, which is fine depending on what you're doing. It's definitely not meant for gaming or other aspects like that. 1.2 gigahertz dual core, and back in the day that was a lot. Now there's quad core, octa core type processors. So before I dive too deep into this, we'll finish the tour of the outside. So on the front here, it's kind of hard to tell. It is sort of a fingerprint magnet, but it is a textured plastic here on the front. It's got little like bumps everywhere. On the sides, you've got some heat exhaust vents. It does get a little bit warm, but I've never had any issues with overheating. On the bottom, you've just got your usual FCC information, and you can kind of see into the board and some of the heat sinks that are on there. And then on the back, going from left to right, we have our power in. It uses kind of that Mickey Mouse two-prong power cable, two USB 2.0 ports, a 10100 Ethernet jack. A little disappointed it wasn't gigabit, but it's not the end of the world. This is a IR blaster here. It does come with a IR blaster extension, so you could put this somewhere else and not really have to see it. We have our digital optical out, if you have like a sound bar or a receiver or something like that. And then we have an HDMI out and an HDMI in. If you have a cable box or something like that, I don't really pay for cable, but something that is simple and easy to program, you can, cable box as an example, plug your cable box into this, out of the cable box into this, and then through this one HDMI input, you can watch all of your smart TV features like Netflix and Amazon Instant Video and Plex and a whole bunch of other ones, and you can use this and use your cable box at the same time through something called Google Primetime. Now that's kind of old software, but we'll get into that in a second. So this does run Android, as just about everything did back in that day, minus Apple TVs. And it runs Android 4.2.2, but it runs Google TV. And Google TV was kind of the king back then. The Logitech Review, a product I'm still trying to get my hands on, but one of the best holds its value the best. It's older than this, and it's still sold out everywhere. Nobody gets rid of them. I mean, it's the Android Google TV software that was in there was really, really good. It was really, really simple, and I have no idea why Google ever strayed from it ever. But I guess, it just didn't sell enough. Market wasn't ready or something like that. So the box is a little bit large. It's not it's not the flashiest looking thing, but you never really have to see it, and I'll show you why. The remote that comes with it is one of the most impressive remotes I have ever held in my hands. This is the NSG MR5U remote that goes with it, and it already on the front, it looks like this crazy, bunch of gizmos. So you have your colored buttons that we're used to. You can program them to do just about anything. We've got kind of a function key here, play, pause, and then an info button. And then this, all of this right here is actually a kind of a clicky trackpad, excuse me. So you can use it as a mouse pad to navigate things because since it does run Android, that Sony Box, you can navigate browsers with it, and sometimes just using your up, down, left, right arrows can get to be a pain in the neck. So you've got your up, down, left, right arrows and select. You've got a back button, a change between apps button. This pulls up the menu that gets you to the home screen, and then you have like if you need to access your DVR, you got a DVR button, you've got a TV button to control your TV, and you can open up the guide because as I had mentioned before, you can use your cable box along with this rather than switching HDMI inputs, or if you have a receiver or something like that. And then up here you have TV or amp power and input, so you can program this to also control your TV, turn your TV on and off, and get it to the right input. So if you want one remote, I mean, if you really only use your TV, a cable box, and maybe a smart TV player like this, you really only need one remote for this, maybe two if you throw in a Blu-ray player or something like that. So then on the side here, kind of hard to see, we have some volume buttons to control volume for whatever you're watching, a mute button, and then channel up and down on that side. But on the back is where it gets a little impressive. That's a full keyboard there on the back, and it lights up. There is a kind of a light button here. It's kind of hard to see, but it does light up with this orange sort of backlight. And full keyboard, as anyone would expect. So if you're on Netflix or something like that, and rather than using these arrow buttons, down, 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 right, 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 select, that's one number. Then you got to scroll all the way back and all the way up to hit another number. It tends to be a pain in the neck. So you can just use this to really, really easily navigate any app or any browser or anything like that. So it's really an all-in-one remote. It's very, very lightweight, and it functions through Bluetooth. So if you don't want to use this on your Sony TV, any other Bluetooth compatible devices like computers or other smart TV boxes, you can use this in that application. Pairing process is pretty simple. It's got this goofy light that flashes all the time when you try to use it and it's not connected to a box. There's a pairing button on the bottom of the box. There's a pairing button on this, and you're ready to go. So, wonderful remote. It's super awesome, super easy to use. Battery life is pretty good. There are two batteries, I think AAA's. One's on this side, and one's on this side. This whole back comes off. I'm not going to take it off right now, though. So back to the box. It does do network attached storage. It does do things like Plex. So if you have Plex service, you can do that, and it works out pretty well. I like the two USB ports in the back. I have a large storage device that has all of my movies and TV and all the stuff that I've purchased legally through the internet, and I watch my stuff that way. The interface is wonderful. One day I will plug this into a TV and we'll try to capture what it's doing on a monitor. This interface is dead simple. There's one app on there in particular. We obviously know how to use Netflix and Hulu and all the other ones that are in there. Plex has a really good media player in there. It plays just about every file format, everything from AVIs to MKVs and MP4s, all of it. But the interface is not the best. I mean, it's slow. It's a very basic file explorer type interface. So not the prettiest, but it gets the job done. And playback is good. I've never had an issue with it. 60 frame video, can't do 4K, but anything else, this thing screams through. But getting back to the Primetime app, Primetime is an app that Google had in this TV that combines just about everything. If you use Amazon Instant Video, if you use Netflix, if you use Plex, if you have a cable box that's hooked up to this, Primetime is an app that combines all of that into one. So it'll show you, you know, hey, this is the next episode in the series that you're watching, or hey, finish what you were watching on Amazon, or hey, this show's coming up in like an hour or something, or you have it recorded on this DVR. You can use this actually as a DVR. You know, if you're at a room on your cable box DVR, you can plug some external storage into that using one of the two USB ports and expand upon your cable box's storage. I don't really pay for cable. I don't use cable, but I've heard people do that. I've never done it myself, but I know it's possible. So that's about it. It doesn't really overheat. It looks fine. You can tuck it away, especially since this is not an infrared remote. It requires no line of sight. You can hide this away in a cabinet like I do in the master bedroom, and you never see it, and you don't have to worry about it. And then this, you know, powers on my TV, gets me to the right input, and I'm watching Netflix and you know, watching all those copies of movies that I've purchased recently or rented. You know what I mean? So that's it. Not too much more to say about that. Obviously, there's some things that probably could have been improved upon. I love the old Google TV software. I'm looking to get a Nexus player, but after buying a new car, it's kind of, you know, money's tight. But stay tuned. We're going to be going over a lot more. Going to be doing a review on the new car. It's brand new. It's 2015. Not going to tell you what it is. If you pay attention to my social media, which I did link all of that lately, you may have figured out what time it is. There goes my timer for time's up on the video. So thanks for sticking around, guys. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. Could have gone on and on about this player. It's wonderful, but everything has its pros and cons. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in there. Make sure you're subscribed. We've got lots more coming up, and we will see you next time, guys. Thank you.